Hello friends, Susan here. Today I want to show you another beautiful Mother's Day card that features some of our designer series paper. So this particular paper that I'm featuring today comes from the Dressed to Impress suite of products. All of these gorgeous images. I mean, you could make card after card after card. You could just sit down and knock out 100 cards pretty easily using all these pieces of paper. You can use it to cover the whole front of the card or just sections of the card. You can get really, really creative and just all day do nothing but make cards with one package of paper. Easily you could. Something else I want to show you, it's not the stamps that we're using, but I want you to take a look at these images in Abstract Impressions and look at the images here. They are identical. It's the very same image, the very same artist obviously created both of them. So if you already have Abstract Impressions and you want to combine it with this beautiful paper, it is a perfect way to do it. The paper is called Best Dressed, by the way. It does come in those perfect 6x6 sheets. But I just wanted to point out, this is retiring, so if you don't have it, it might be something you really want to put on your order right away. There's so many sweet sentiments. I have used the sentiments multiple times on lots of different cards. But I just wanted to point that out. Okay, the stamps that we're actually going to use on this card are from Dressed to Impress. They coordinate with the paper, and there are dies that also coordinate with some of these images here. We are going to use Happy Mother's Day, and we're going to use this little flower and Hello Fabulous. Again, this is a card that you could make into an encouragement card, a birthday card, a thinking of you card, Mother's Day. You could go almost any direction with this. So I have combined Blackberry, Bliss, and Mossy, Meadow colors to create this card. The belly band slides off, and we open up to say Happy Mother's Day. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I did this card. It's very easy to do, actually, even though it looks like it's more involved, it really isn't. So we are going to use these two different dies here, and these come from Stitch So Sweetly, which if you've watched my videos, I've used these multiple times already. And it comes with all of these different images. These scalloped rectangles are just fabulous for layering together. They're wonderful. And I like to layer different shapes together, which is what I'm going to do on this card, is I'm going to put two different shapes together. Okay, so to start with your card, you have 8.5 by 5.5. And I have put this into my paper trimmer or your score tool and score it at 2 1/8 on each side. And then you see there's a bump here and there's a dent here. You want to fold into the bump. We call that folding into the mountain, not the valley. And then just give it a score. Burnish that score line. And then this one should meet perfectly. Not quite a perfect meet. I'm not sure why. My measurement must have been a little bit off. Okay, so you're going to do it like that. And then we're going to take two pieces. Now I have cut this to 5 1/4 by 1 7/8 because this is 2 1/8. I took it down 1/4 of an inch so that we would have that nice little border. And if you cut the pieces next to each other like this, you will have a perfect match when you put the front of your card together. So it takes two pieces of this designer paper to complete this card, and you get, I think, 4 of each one. Okay, so I checked to make sure that my pattern matches, and this is the side that goes on the right, and now I'm going to do the side that goes on the left. Okay, I'm using Liquid Tombow. It is my glue of choice. A little bit goes a long way. You don't want those globs. So if you have bumps like that, you want to just smooth them out with the tip. Sometimes I even just take a piece of paper and smooth them out. Piece of scrap. All right. And if you have difficulty lining something up that's long with the short on the top and the bottom, just turn it sideways. It's a little easier for your eye to see if it's lined up. Okay, so that is my outside. Now I have 2 more pieces cut to put on the inside. These happen to be matches, but they don't need to be. You just want to see if your flowers look like they're right side up. The reason they don't need to be is because they're going to be separated from each other. They're not going to be side by side. So it really doesn't matter if they are a match. These just happened to be one. All right, I got some glue oozed out there, so I wasn't as careful at making sure that my glue wasn't too thick. If your glue does ooze out, just wipe it off with your finger, let it get good and dry, and then just take your finger and rub on it. Or if you have an adhesive remover, which is like a hard, round, hard square rubber, it looks like this. If you have one of those, it's beautiful for removing glue that has oozed out. Stampin' Up! Used to carry it. We do not any longer, but I think you can still find them on Amazon. It's not my go-to place for buying stamping supplies by any means, but sometimes a certain tool that Stampin' Up! Has discontinued can be bought there. Okay, our card's actually half done. All right, let's do the inside. And for the inside, we're just going to stamp Happy Mother's Day in Mossy Meadow ink. Open that up. Get it right side up. Upside down would not be good. Okay, I am going to use my grid paper to line up my cardstock to make sure it's straight. And then stamp. Closing that up just so I don't stick my finger in it, because I am very likely to do that. Okay, now I'm going to take this little flower, and I played around with the single, with the double, and I found that this one just worked the best. So we are going to use it. Oh, you know what? I didn't. I used the other ones. I did piddle around with this for a while, and that is not the one I used. So I'm going to switch here real quick. This is the one I liked. Good thing I checked, huh? See, nothing here is scripted. We just kind of go with the flow. This is what it's like stamping with me. Sometimes it can be quite entertaining. All right, so I'm going to put this under Happy Mother's Day, just like that. Pull straight up. Oh, I got some smudgies on there. Well, and it's worse on the back. So I'm not sure where they're all coming from, but I'm not happy with it, so I'm going to cut another piece really fast. Okay, sorry about that. It tends to happen. I think I must have had it on my fingers. Has that ever happened to you? No, I'm sure it has. We all experienced that. Oops. And I was going to flip it over, except when I did, I had more smudges on the back. So we're going to try this again, because I'm going to put this card together and need to be able to mail it, you know? Okay, Happy Mother's Day. And obnoxious black memento ink. Stay where I put you and not anywhere else, please. Haha. All right. All right, I want to close that up so I don't stick my fingers in it again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it a few seconds to dry. It's pretty much dry almost right away, but while that dries, I'm going to stamp my sentiment for the front. Hello, Fabulous. And I'm just going to put it right here. Close the ink pad so you don't stick your fingers in it. And then while this is drying a little bit, we're going to cut out this piece here. Let's turn it around so I can reach the handle. All right, I have the precision plate in it right now. I like to have that in there when I'm cutting out anything with stitches, because I find that sometimes you have just a little bit that doesn't come out with the stitching. All right, I'm trying to line this up. Okay, we're going to crank it through a couple of times. Although I haven't really had a lot of problem with the stitches on this. They came out pretty nice. All right, see how nice that came out? Move that out of the way. Okay, this should be ready now. So I'm going to take my light and dark Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to start with my light, and I'm just going to kind of color, not all, I'm going to leave little bits of white, because that's how the images on the designer paper look. And oh look, I forgot the green. Well, I may have to do that when we're done. Okay, and now I'm just going to take the dark, and I'm just going to hit a few spots. I'm not trying to get all of them by any means, because then we wouldn't have light and dark. Just little bits. Okay, I think it needs just a little more here. All right, make sure that's dry before we touch it. I'm going to put it in here, and you can see it always bleeds through. Anytime you use Stampin' blends, it's going to bleed through. It's the nature of an alcohol marker. So you always have to layer whatever you were coloring onto something else, because it's going to show. All right. Now we're going to just put that in there. And I will color my leaves in later, because I didn't bring those over here. Okay, next. Now this one I did with Mossy Meadow. I'm going to do this one with Blackberry Bliss, just to see the difference and see how I like it. So I've already cut this image out. You might have a few stragglies. And I'm going to glue this down on top. There we go. Okay, now that's glued on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cardstock here. That's going to be my belly band, and this is 8.5 inches, I think. Yeah, 8.5 inches. Okay, it's not going to be a perfect all-around wrap, but it doesn't matter, because as long as it meets enough to. And I'm going to just kind of go like this to make sure it's about even. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means, but this helps. If I put this on the straight line, it helps keep me from getting it crooked. And if you need a little guidance, if you just kind of do that, that just helps it fold in just a little bit for you. Now, you don't want to do it so tight that it's not going to move. So you have to do that and then be able to move it up and down, which is why I didn't score it and then fold it and then burnish it real tight, because it would be too tight and it would not work. Okay, so now, tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of these here, and I think it goes back away, so I'm going to put one here. It's probably more than I need, but I'm going to build a little puzzle there, a little octagon puzzle. All right, we're going to pull these off. And stick this down. All right, let's make sure we're all square. And this is going to go in the middle, like that. Press. And now my belly band goes up and down. Okay, so you tell me, which one do you like better? Do you like bringing out the accents of the green leaves? Or do you like sticking with the color of the card base? Normally I go with the card base color, but I thought, yeah, let's be fun and let's try to bring out the green. So what do you think? Leave me a comment. Tell me which one you like better. I'd love to hear from you. That's how I know if you watched, if you leave me a comment. Please give me a like and subscribe to my videos, and take care of yourself, make a card, and send someone a smile today. Bye.